Okay, one of the things I've known for years is that people can impact one another. If you're in a sea of mediocrity, you're going to start feeling pretty mediocre from time to time. So you've got to find your own way of getting yourself out of that mediocre soup. But I do month-longs. I have done in the past month-long seminars. I haven't got any planned right now. But Dr. Timothy Ray, and if you look him up on the internet, he's pretty famous. He's done some pretty outstanding things this lifetime. He was doing some monitoring of us and did some brainwave studies while we were doing our month-long. And about the third or fourth day, and Mia, who is my daughter, and she was 13 at the time, I believe, came in, and she didn't look like herself. Her countenance had totally changed. And so I do what I do. I called a team meeting, which is kind of like a life's time out. We just go, okay, team meeting, and we stop the world if things are a little different than we think that we may want them to be. And I looked at Mia and I said, Mia, who do you feel like? And Tim immediately stopped the world, said, hang on just a minute. I need you, Mia, right now, and ran out of the training room, which was down in our house in our village, and disappeared with Mia. So we continued the meeting. Tim came back down a few minutes later, and what he'd done was, before the seminar began, he did brainwave studies, and there was one that he called the typical MacKenzie brainwave study. Even though we were under a lot of stress, the brain was quiet, the two halves were synchronized, there wasn't much noise, and it did a little voice in it. And it's something that I find refreshing. And my whole family was similar. There was a similar pattern to my family. When I saw that Mia's countenance was not her, basically, saw that she was being impacted, and I started to point out, Tim wanted to see whether that was being monitored on the brainwave studies. That's why he rushed out of the room with her, and he did a brainwave study up at the house. We came back down, and one of the things, the reason that my book is called Noticing Fixes More Than Fixing, a lot of times when you notice the source, it kind of alleviates things. It pulls things off of you. And I said to Mia, who in the room do you look like? Who do you feel like in the room? And she said, man, Dad, it was Mel. And Mel was one of our female participants. She was in the 30-day, in a relationship, and the relationship didn't seem to be going that well, going through some tough times. There was sadness, conflict, etc. in her system. When Mia identified the source, immediately her countenance changed, and my 13-year-old daughter came back. Innocent, fun, bright-eyed. Tim then took her back up to the studio to run more tests. He ran the brain scan test again, and immediately her brain scan was back to almost exactly where it was when we started the month-long, back to what Tim called the MacKenzie brainwave pattern. So we know that people can impact each other.